Hello, it's Karen, and I'm here with Whiskey Sour, who's been awesome in filling in for the puppy I may never have. Oh, just the suspense is killing everybody, right? I will get a pup, promise. That will happen. I wrote a blog today called Do You Have a Habit You Want to Break? Now, this was written by a guy named Andrew Rosen, who he wrote out five steps to breaking some bad habits. And his first one was to identify the bad habit. Routine makes us feel safe, but don't hide under the umbrella of familiarity too long. The problem with habits is that we let them control us. Our subconscious kicks in and tendencies take over without us even thinking about them. Monitor yourself for a full week as you go through average work days. Jot down any potential habits in a job journal. Whether it's an arbitrary ritual like tapping your toes 3 times before you enter the building, who does that? Or sipping on an afternoon diet soda included on the list. The point here isn't to nab every habit and routine, but to find a starting point. Number 2, determine which habits are hurting you. Let's shoot big. Identify the habit that affects you most negatively. It could be wasting time, putting physical or mental stress in your body, or fatigue from that diet soda. Look at the short-term and long-term picture and prepare to face the worst habit you have head on. Number 3, stop your habit dead in its tracks. Sometimes stopping a habit is as simple as recognizing it. Next time you find yourself carrying out the habit, say to yourself, stop. If you have the luxury of yelling it out loud, do it. Just in the middle of your office, stop, and everybody looks at you. If you're in a public office, just say it in your head, rather than risk looking bonkers. I'd just risk looking bonkers. I'm a weirdo. I would just do it. Create a physical or graphical reminder that represents the negative outcome of the habit and access that reminder when you need it. With the soda, for example, hang a picture of decaying teeth near your desk. Maybe a bit far. Or maybe in a drawer you open often where your coworkers won't see it. Next time you reach for the soda, you'll at least consider drinking water instead. Step 4, replace your bad habit with something awesome. Because office life is conducive to repetition, the same routine that created your habit might help you replace it with something useful. Instead of reaching for coffee or candy, or rather than participating in gossip and complaints, do something that's good for you. Here's an example. Every time you receive a new email, instead of dropping what you're working on, just take in a deep breath and clear your mind. Another positive work ritual, one that helps reduce eye strain, is practicing the 20-20-20 rule. For every 20 minutes of staring at a computer screen or a document, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds, just to readjust. From breathing to stretching to resting your eyes, there are a million positive things you can do while at work. Step 5, hang in there. Some habits are deeply embedded, so don't expect to replace them overnight. Instead, focus on vigilantly monitoring your habits and routines for weeks or months. Consider making bad habit inventory a weekly ritual. Habits can be really powerful, so why not use them to work for you rather than against you. Master the art of habit replacement and watch your experience improve. So his article was about the steps in taking to break these workplace habits more specifically. I have some habits that I have been diligently working on breaking, and I'll tell you my 5 that I have. His were more 5 steps to breaking them, but I'll just tell you my 5 habits that I'm working on breaking. Number 1 is gossip and bad-mouthing. That's one of the ones that I am probably the most conscious of. I found that certain times of day and specific things were contributing to this. Not watching the news. You know that I'm a big advocate of just shutting off the news. Changing my home page periodically. It used to be on a news page, and now it's on just some kind of more positive websites and kind of cool things like that. That helps me to just to first get that gossip and bad-mouthing habit out of me, and just it also makes me feel a little better just not looking at something as just so negative, you know. I also had to realize that whoever I'm speaking about, when I am gossiping or when I'm bad-mouthing someone, I can't possibly know everything about them, especially if they're a celebrity or a politician or a religious figure or something like that. I don't live with these people. I don't work with these people. I can't possibly know everything about them just because a newscast told me something bad about them. I just can't know that. So therefore, I don't consider myself an authority on them. It's a big realization to come to that. Just because everybody's doing it You know, it's the popular thing to gossip and badmouth about people. Furrowing my brow. My love for Beethoven sometimes has me trying to look like him. When I get tense, I will clench my jaw and I furrow my brow, and then I just quit breathing. Like I stop breathing. And I'm glad to say that now I breathe deeply several times a day. And I used to have to start telling myself to do it, and now I just do it. So that took a really, really long time. It's also helping me with my migraines, if you can believe it. So that's a good thing. Number 3, anxiety. What was once considered a warranted emotion just turned into a really bad habit with me. I found myself getting anxious or upset in reaction to things that just simply don't really require that much concern. Basically, my guard was up for everything. Just everything and anything that could come my way. And I had to assess what was a problem and what wasn't a problem. Number 4, arguing too much. I've just learned to pick my battles. I love that saying, pick your battles. It's like, pick what's important to you, you know, kind of like the mom only yelling at her child when he's about to run across the street and get hit by a car. We've talked about that before. I've really learned to pick my battles because I do not enjoy fighting. I don't enjoy an argument. I don't even enjoy a really heated discussion anymore. I don't know if it's just I'm getting too old or too tired, or I just don't like the sound of it. So I'm really picking my battles, for sure. If you're looking to pick a fight, you're gonna find something to complain about. If you just are all hot-headed about something, you will find fault in absolutely anything or anyone, because you're just out to pick a fight. So I've been really working on trying not to argue as much. And my number 5 is controlling people. This is something I don't know if it's a family trait or if it's something that infiltrated my environment, but I just finally realized that it's not my job to change anyone or make sure that their life is going according to my plans. I had to learn to let people make their own choices. And in relationships, if we force someone to love us or pay attention to us, it's not going to be the kind of love that we ultimately want anyway. I think sometimes when you just have to just control other people all the time, and you guys know I've talked about control a lot, and I don't mean control as far as when I say the things we control. Someone brought that, I think maybe One Horse, she brought that up before, and that was a good point to bring it up, just so I can clarify. When I say to control, that we can only control the things we can control, that means that, like, I can control getting out of bed in the morning. I can control getting my car to work. There's certain things that we are in control of. It's being in control of certain parts of our life, or being in control of our emotions, is very different than trying to control others. So you'll hear me use that in different ways, and I'm working hard to just make that a little more clear for you guys. Just so there's no mix-up. So thank you, Jeffrey, for bringing it up. And I want to add a 6th one on, and I have a disease known as packratism, or some of you might know it as packratitis. It's the accumulation of unnecessary clutter in my life, and I'm constantly just trying to get rid of stuff, just get rid of my clutter all around me, and that's one of the biggest habits I've been trying to break. And that one's really hard because we grew up in a 20-room farmhouse with a couple of great big barns and a whole bunch of equipment, and trying to move from there and get rid of stuff. It took us, 20 years from moving there to finally just get rid of the stuff. And I know my siblings are still accumulating stuff. Some of my siblings have my stuff. So it's just like the packratitis is got to go. So I'm simplifying a lot of my life. I really believe that before you try to break any of these habits that you have, for me, I had to really want to, more than anything else. I had to have this desire, and without this desire to change things or break these habits, it's almost impossible to follow through with them if you don't have the mindset. And I don't know if you guys have habits you want to break. Probably not, right? Everything's good. But is there a step that has to happen inside your head first before that can be broken for good? You know, I've seen people, we had discussions online about quitting smoking. I quit smoking many, many years ago, And I couldn't quit smoking. I tried several times, and I couldn't quit smoking until I wanted to, first of all. Really wanted to. My desire to break the habit had to be bigger than my want for that cigarette. So it had to kind of start there with the mindset. And maybe we're just rushing to break the habit before our mindset has changed about it. So I think without that desire to change the bad habits, it's hard to follow through with them. So I think we really gotta want to break them. I signed off today. I'm off to take more extraneous items to Goodwill. I went to, there's a place in, well, there's a few places, it's kind of a chain, called Out of the Closet in Los Angeles, and all the money goes towards helping families with AIDS, AIDS research, things like that. And I went in there the other day, and I had awesome stuff. Like, I had an old hair dryer that I had kicking around. I had some awesome iron chairs. I just had a whole bunch of stuff. The guy kind of lit up when I was in there because I think he thought it was cool to get something that was actually looked okay in his shop. So, you know, it's funny. You can get rid of some things in your life that you just don't need or just don't use. And then somebody else benefits, and he lit up like a Christmas tree. He was so pleased as punch to get them. I also took in Filthy's cat carrier. I got rid of that finally. It was in my closet, and I thought, well, if I see another little stray around, I'll have that cat carrier, but my whole point is just to move from this place, and I'm not going to get another cat until I move somewhere anyway. So I finally got rid of his cat carrier. And he says, you know what, that was one of the best things I brought into the Out of the Closet store, because he said, I have these little old ladies that come in looking for those because they will take strays into shelters or take the strays into the vets or something, and so they're always looking for those. So it's kind of cool that you can, you know, get rid of that. So my pancreatitis, bad condition. It's a really bad condition. Working hard on that. I signed off with a Doug Henning quote. You guys might know Doug. He's an illusionist and a magician, and I think he appeared on Muppet Show a lot and stuff. He died maybe a decade ago or so, but a really talented, cool guy. And his habit quote was, "The hard must become habit. The habit must become easy. The easy must become beautiful." So he was looking at ways to incorporate good habits into his life. And sometimes we have to, I've heard people say you have to do something for 2 weeks, you know, before it becomes a habit. And then it becomes a little more easy, and then it becomes beautiful. So I think we can do it. It's just about changing the mindset. So I'm sure you guys have some habits that you're working on as well. Maybe we can kind of help each other through those. If somebody wants to back a truck into my apartment and take away some of my clutter, that'd be good. Anywho, so I will sign off today, and of course I will check in with you guys again tomorrow, okay? So until next time, from Whiskey Sour and me, rock on.